Okay, this is Skylar with Christian Brothers Roofing, working on State Farm claim number 1797Z as in zebra, 872V as in Victor. Out here at Mr. Joe Buckley's house today, doing a matching test with the recommended shingles from State Farm. I have a GAF Timberline HDZ and I have a IKO Cambridge shingle to come out here and do the test today. So I wasn't given any specific colors, so I tried to choose and help State Farm out and see exactly what I could get that would match this roof as best as I could. So I chose Weatherwood colors. Got Weatherwood Timberline HDZ. Right now we have the IKO Cambridge Weatherwood on the roof, and so met the first problem here. And I've just broken the seal on this shingle to slide the new one under it just to show what it looks like on the roof itself. The roof is too steep for the shingles to sit there themselves for the comparison. But I just want to come through and show. So on Joe's existing shingles, if we measure them, see if I can get a good spot to measure. So if we measure the existing shingles, we end up right around 38 5/8, maybe 38 3/4. The IKO Cambridge shingle that State Farm has recommended we use to replace the damaged area, which is actually on the front slope over here. The IKO Cambridge, and I just noticed, missing tab wind damage shingle that was not included on the claim, which there's several more. And you can see the granules are gone from these shingles. There's absolutely no way any texture of a new shingle is going to blend in with the texture of the existing shingles because the granules are gone. Anyways, back to my point, the IKO Cambridge that State Farm has recommended we use, I'm not sure what that was, transformer blew up, something, that State Farm recommends we use measures at 40 3/4. There is 2 inches of shingle that will have to be and can't be trimmed. And I can provide documentation from IKO that says you cannot trim shingles. They do not recommend it. They do not recommend mixing brands of shingles. This existing shingle is obviously, to a roofer like me, not an IKO shingle. This is a Owens Corning shingle, but State Farm has refused to do an RLS or an ITEL report for Mr. Buckley for reasons I don't know why. So we're gonna take these shingles, put them over here, and I wanna compare the GAF Timberline shingle. Let's see. Get this up over here. They might have glued themselves together. I hope not. It's awfully hot today. It's pretty hot. Okay, let's see. Where were we here? There's the shingle, that broken seal already. You can see mat transfer already on the shingle. Very easy seal break here. Let's see if I can't get this shingle in here, or at least next to it to compare. Sorry for the crazy movement with my phone. So we got it right there on the keyway. This is the Timberline, the GAF Timberline HDZ weathered wood, comparing it to the existing. This looks to be a Owens Corning Oak Ridge driftwood shingle to me. But again, State Farm is refusing to do any kind of identification on these shingles, so they're leaving us up to it. And they've chosen shingles that make no sense to pair with an Owens Corning shingle. So when we go to measure this, I'll make sure I stay on that keyway so I get an accurate measurement. So the existing shingle is what, 38 5/8? We're getting 39 1/4 here on the HDZ. Again, we're gonna have to trim this shingle. Shingle manufacturers do not recommend, they recommend specifically against trimming shingles. Again, Skylar, I can send in correspondence that says so. So this is not going to work for Mr. Buckley's house.
I just did a matching test
with the IKO Cambridge and the Timberline HDZ, which both were too long to be compatible with the existing shingles on the roof. But when I got up here, I noticed some shingles that are damaged from wind that were not listed on the claim, were not added to the claim here, just simply walking around doing my comparison on the shingles. So I got 1, 2, 3 missing shingle tabs ripped away from high winds that were documented recently. See if I can find some more shingle tabs here that are missing. I've got a random tab that I don't know where it's from, just laying on the roof. It's been there for a while. There's debris underneath it. Let's see if I can find any more. I got 1, 2, 3 here. And I'm not even counting all the creasing and the granular loss from wind damage. I'm just trying to count literal rips and tears and missing shingle tabs here that were not included on the claim for reasons I don't know why. So we got 3 here at least, and I did want to document that, make note of that, send it into State Farm just to realize that there's been a lot of stuff missed on this house. And I'm honestly, I'm recommending that we get a re-inspection out here. I'd like to meet an adjuster and actually show him this stuff in person and be able to show him that these shingles won't match. I'll keep these in my truck and I can meet an adjuster out here and show him that this is not going to work. But these were not included on the claim. I also want to document here State Farm claim number 1797Z8-72V that at Mr. Buckley's residence. Before Mr. Buckley made the claim, I had to come out and tarp this roof. This area of the roof was leaking. I don't know that the adjuster removed this tarp. It surely doesn't look like it. So I'm not sure how they documented what damage was beneath that tarp, but they have not included any coverage for the shingles that now have cap nails driven through them, from which I had to tarp. And so I'm assuming State Farm is wanting us to reuse shingles that have holes in them now from cap nails because of a required tarp that had to be added to the roof. I tried to keep it as small as I possibly could, but I'm gonna have to remove that today to show why State Farm has not given enough coverage, why this roof is not repairable either. I just wanted to add that to the video. All right, Skylar Sample, Christian Brothers Roofing. Coming back to do my matching and my repairability test on Mr. Buckley's house. State Farm claim number 17-97Z as in zebra, 872V as in Victor. It's apparent that my tarp was not removed, or else it's a miracle that whoever removed it upon inspection when the adjuster was here was able to hit almost 90% of the same exact nail holes that I did when I installed this tarp. So I'm not exactly sure how State Farm was even able to see any of the damage under here for themselves. So I'm gonna try to remove this tarp. This is a 12-12 pitch, so there will be cuts in my video. I am not going to be able to hold this phone and video everything that I'm doing at the same time. I'll try my best with a pitch hopper, but it would be unsafe for me to try and do this entire video just using one hand. Tools we're going to be using today are going to be my pry bar, a hammer, and I have a putty knife, which is the thinnest thing that I can find to break the seal on any shingles, although I have a feeling that I'm not going to be using that. Once I remove this tarp, I'm going to have to re-tarp this area. State Farm has not included any coverage for the other shingles that now have nails in them from where we were required to tarp, and this is as small of a tarp as I could have used. The shingle that is missing is at the ridge line, so we had to roll the tarp over the top and nail to the ridge cap shingles. State Farm has not included coverage for any ridge cap shingles due to the tarp or due to the damage, but I want to show this is the shingle under this tarp that's damaged. This shingle is 15 to 18 inches wide this way, from the bottom of the exposure to the top of the shingle. It is beneath this shingle here. It's nailed beneath the ridge cap shingles. If we look at where the end of this shingle is, there's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ridge cap shingles that are nailed into the shingle that we have to replace. And with the granular loss that we're seeing here on this roof, there's absolutely no way we're going to be able to reuse the ridge cap shingles that have to be removed during this repair. So I have to cut the video and try and peel back this tarp and show what I'm talking about. Thank you. All right, Skylar Sample, Christian Brothers Roofing, State Farm claim number 17-97Z as in zebra, 8-72V as in Victor, here at Mr. Joe Buckley's house. I have cut the tarp. I am peeling back the tarp to show the damage here. And right there is a shingle that's damaged. And let me see if I can peel back this tarp anymore. Now these shingles are nailed through with the tarp, so they're gonna have to be replaced anyways. I have to cut this tarp off this way. Again, as I mentioned in the last segment, this is a 12-12 pitch. I'm using a pitch hopper and I'm filming this with one hand. So I have to do what I can and I have to stay safe. So I'm gonna start going ahead and acting as though I would be able to replace this shingle here. So we'll try to get some nails out one-handedly. Okay. So in order for me to replace this shingle, let's start getting rid of the shingle itself that's ripped. I'm gonna have to cut this tarp back even more. Let's see. Alright, there's the end of the shingle. There's the end of the shingle that's damaged there. Let's see if I can get this peeled back any better. Alright, so if I were to go in here and start trying to replace this shingle here, this shingle is nailed beneath this shingle here, and where's the end of it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ridge cap shingles that will have to come off for me to get all of the nails out of this shingle, because there's still some shingle left there. It's just tore off the exposed part of the shingle. The whole thing's not gone. So got to pull some nails here, see if I can. These cap nails are a little hard to get a hold of with the pry bar sometimes. There we go. Okay. So I want to use my putty knife to try and break that seal, and try to use the thinnest thing I can to break the seal on these shingles. This is thinner than a roof snake. See where we're at here. This part of the shingle is toast. So is this one. I'm gonna switch hands real quick here. Okay. So that's the end of this shingle here. This one looks to be, the seal's already broken on it. We got some cap nails there that I need to pull. Again, trying to do this one-handed on a 12-12 slope. It's not the easiest thing in the world, so please bear with me. I'm trying my best to protect the shingles here for the sake of the test. Good deal. All right, now see where our nails are. A nail here, any more. Here's the end of the shingle, and we got a nail there. Then we're gonna have to break the seal on these ridge cap shingles to see where they are nailed. You got a nail right there that is absolutely through this shingle. And we're gonna have a nail here, 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 and here that need to be removed to get this shingle out. So, okay, so my phone overheated. It's very hot today. Skylar sample of Christian Brothers Roofing on State Farm claim number 17-97Z8-72V. Mr. Joe Buckley's residence. I was just taking a video. I'm not sure how much the video was caught before my phone overheated. I didn't notice. But I'm taking a video showing us removing the damaged shingle here, and that I have already removed the nails that are below this shingle. We had one here, one here, one here, and a fourth nail here at the edge of the shingle. I cannot pull this shingle out. I'm gonna have to remove the nails on the ridge cap shingles as well, because they are nailed through. All 8 ridge cap shingles here are nailed through the damaged shingle. State Farm has not included any coverage for the ridge cap shingles. We cannot reuse them. I mean, look at the state of these shingles. The granular loss is insane. They have cap nails through them from where I've had to come tarp this area. It's not gonna work. So I'm gonna continue trying to get these nails pulled here. There's one. Gotta break the seal on the shingle. And hopefully this phone doesn't overheat. But I cannot make any guarantees that it won't. So we got nail there, nail there. Seal on this shingle. So I'm just gonna go through, get these shingles unsealed real quick with my putty knife, which, like I said, is thinner than a roof snake. It's better to break the seal with a putty knife than it is a roof snake. It is thinner. We're gonna have to cut the tarp here. Okay, so back to it. The nail's kind of sunk down pretty far beneath these shingles. See if I can get a hold of it here. Just trying. There we go. See if I can grab it here with my grabber. Trying to be as careful as I can here with these shingles. I'm not able to get that with the grab portion. Okay. Before we do any more, I want to document the mat transfer on this shingle. That one we fooled with. Here's mat transfer here. We didn't even put the pry bar underneath this shingle here. We just broke the seal with something as small as a putty knife. Again, mat transfer. Mat transfer. Mat transfer. Mat transfer. Little bit of mat transfer. So now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shingles at the very least that cannot be reused, that State Farm has not extended any coverage for. So we can't reuse them. I have to get these nails out for the sake of this repairability test. So bear with me, please. It's a very steep roof on a very hot day. Fish this thing out. There we go. There's one. Here's our next one. Underneath the ridge cap shingle, pulling the nail up. There we go. Next. Next nail. Next. Okay, so there's some more damage. The nail literally pulled through the entire shingle. Didn't stay adhered in the shingle. They're very old and very brittle. It's not for me using something as common as a pry bar on these shingles to pull them out. I'll even pull this one out with my finger, or try to at least. Here, there we go. Another nail. That one's sinking the decking, so I have to use the pry tool. And here's how I'm using the pry tool. So it has a little grabber on it. Get up under the nail, or under the shingle, grab the nail falls out. All right, let's see if our starting to get loose. Starting to get loose just a little bit. Seems like there's more nails that we can't see that are holding this thing on. Let's keep trying here. Yep, there's a nail way up there on the shingle. Where was that thing at? Underneath this one? Yep, sure enough. Nail under the ridge that is nailed through the damaged shingle. The nail head is mushrooming. Not ideal. I'm sorry that I have to flip my camera around. I gotta do this one-handed. I'm hoping my phone does not overheat. I mean, this is just obvious though. I don't even need to continue hindering Mr. Buckley's roof anymore to show you that there's not enough shingles on the claim to fix this. There has to be ridge cap shingles included. There has to be more than just this shingle itself included to fix this area. There are cap nails now from where I've had to tarp it. Now that I've had to do this video, I'm going to have to re-tarp it in a larger area, so there's gonna be even more nails. All right, so again, my other phone overheated. State Farm claim 17-97Z8-72V, Mr. Joe Buckley here in Louisville, Kentucky. I'm Skylar with Christian Brothers Roofing. I had peeled back this tarp that I have no reason to believe State Farm ever touched this tarp. To show the damage, I have it documented on the previous video. We found mat transfer, granular loss through manipulation of the shingles to do the repair. There are at least 8 ridge cap shingles that cannot be reused. A, because they have cap nails through them from where I had to previously nail the tarp to. B, because there is granular loss and mat transfer. I mean, you think you can reuse a ridge cap shingle that looks like this, that the granules are just loose on? I mean, not happening. Hail damage. More hail damage. So I'm installing this tarp back. I don't want to remove these shingles. I don't want to hinder Mr. Buckley's roof anymore and cause more damage for the claim. I'm trying to do the best I can to minimize damage while installing this tarp anyways. But hopefully I got enough documented in my last video that shows, A, you can't find a match if you're not going to do an ITEL report. B, there's not going to be any match because these shingles are 15, 20 years old. They're faded. They have no granules left on them. They are going to crease. They're unsealed everywhere. The corner of that one. There you go. Absolutely unsealed. You are going to ruin these shingles trying to slide a new shingle up underneath them. So yeah, this is impossible. I'm going to re-tarp this roof and get off the roof. But that's the synopsis for my claim. I'm going to send in all the documentation that I can for the shingles that were recommended. This is an Owens Corning shingle. I know it because I do this, and State Farm has recommended replacing this with a IKO shingle or a GAF shingle, both of which are too long. Both manufacturers do not recommend A, mixing shingles, or B, because of incompatibility, or B, trimming the shingles down to fit, and I can send in documentation showing that as well. Thank you.